Right, good morning, folks. Welcome to Playoffs 2025. You are with us. My name is Hayter Perry.
I am Tom Bowler.
And you are watching track one, which is the WFTDA track for today. And our very first game sees Devon Roller Derby up against Belfast Roller Derby. Shall we go through the teams?
Indeed, let's go through the teams.
Would you like to start with Belfast?
I will start with Belfast. So we have playing for Belfast 015 Rebel Rebel, 108 Hot Cross Bunny, 11 Frankensaz, 15 Lady Lethal, 18 Shutter, 24 Knox, 25 Shin Pain, 28 Bollocks, 31 Becca, 324 Hijinks, 35 Kathy Payne, 6 Quadza, 7 Sarah McMillan, 95 Sea Trigger, and 99 Writer's Block.
And taking the track for Devon, we have 0, which is Smokes, 13 Posh, 130 Casey Crusham, 1981 Northern Lass, 26 Axel Toes, 269 T-Breaks, 275's Whippety Split, 317 Curse T, 55 Sandy Surfwax, 6 is Salcatraz, 73 is Escate, 81 is Hot Blocking Beats, 84 Dirty Ballerina, 87 Kimmy Crusham, and 89 Storm Chaser.
So those are your teams for this first game of playoffs here at Fenton Manor Sports Complex in Stoke. This is quarter-finals day, and our first game, as you say, is Devon Roller Derby. They finished first in Tier 3 South, and they're going to be up against Belfast Roller Derby, who were second placed in Tier 3 West.
So with their current rankings, Devon Roller Derby are currently 86th in Europe and Belfast are 162nd in Europe.
Yes, that's on flat track. So the score prediction here is that Devon will take this game, but you know, we quite often see games and flat track stacks themselves on can be a bit.
It's playoffs, folks. Anything can happen.
Both teams obviously having a fair way to have travelled this weekend. Devon's not exactly a short trip, and Belfast have had to obviously
skip over the water.
Skip over some water.
There we go. So just a quick one whilst the teams are just finishing their warm-ups. A couple of teams here. So Belfast, what their biggest focus for this game and for playoffs is that they want to play together, helping each person to be as versatile as possible, and they pride themselves in being a small league with a huge presence.
Let's see if they can turn over this huge expected differential that Flat Track Stacks is saying. We are going to start with Salcatraz has the start for Devon and Shin Pain for Belfast. This is going to
All skaters eagerly awaiting that whistle.
Both sets of blockers are set, ready to go. We've had the 5 seconds. And these 2025 playoffs are underway. And our first lead jammer.
That was a tight one. Who's got lead? It is Devon.
Devon who are lead, but they are behind the Belfast jammer. So that is called down. Our first jam is a 0-0.
Very close for lead there. Belfast coming out that first jam, showing us what they've got.
And we also already have our first official timeout of this tournament. We will see T-Breaks with the star. You can see there on your screen. T-Breaks with the star for Devon. Can't see who Belfast have sent out yet.
I'm going to hazard a guess that maybe Casey Crusham?
No, it's T-Breaks for Devon.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Is it?
Oh, frankincense.
It's Frankincense. Ah, right.
There we go.
11, yes. You can see over the barrier.
I'm looking under the barrier, Tom. Under the barrier. I am short.
So those who have never been to Stoke for playoffs before, the announcers here on the stream, we are up on a balcony, so we get a kind of bird's eye view, but there is some metal barriers in the way, so we can't quite see everything. We can see mostly what you can see on the screens.
Safety get in the way of our viewing.
Yeah. But oh, there we go. Now they're in shot. We can
Oh,
see
no, it's Lady Lethal.
It's Lady Lethal. Saw the 1 and thought it was 1-1, but it's not. It's 1-5.
I think our cameraman heard.
Yeah.
let's just pan round.
Just pan round.
Give them a chance. There you go, some of our wonderful officials there.
Scotty Comet plays for Wirrall's Men's Derby. Talking at, I'm not sure what Neve's name is here, but Neve, that is Scotty's. Those two are a nice little couple.
Couples that officiate together.
And I think I'm not sure if Neve plays with Wirral Men's as well. But her dad does. That's Scotty Dog. So dad Scotty Dog, boyfriend Scotty Comet, play for Wirral Men's Derby. They're talking to the other official, Stormy.
Just want to point out our fellow announcer, Jez, having a bit of a dance in the background there.
Bench coaching for Devon. Not entirely sure what this timeout is for.
No. We must actually announce who our producers are for this game.
Yeah, so we are ably produced today. Oh, it's just been handed something. But yes.
We have Bolt, and this is Bolt's first time producing for us. So to help her steady her nerves and help steer the producing ship, she has the ever wonderful Duke Special right by her side. And here we go. Right, we've finished dotting the I's and crossing the T's on those iPads, and I think we're ready to start Jam 2. Ooh. Lovely bit of blocking there from Becca on T brakes. Lady Lethal with a little bit of recycle there.
We do have our first penalty as 1981. Northern Lass goes to the box for Devon, and we have lead, which is T-break. So Devon have lead, their first lead. And a star stash.
Lady Lethal is out on their initial pass.
T-break's trying to get down the inside, and now trying to skip down the outside line as Lex Lethal is knocked to the inside by Kimmy Crusher.
Every time T-Breaks thinks they've found a gap.
And they have down that inside line, picking up the first 4 points of this game. But not far behind. Belfast pick up a 4 as well. T-Breaks just getting around.
Couple of blockers there.
Turning the hips, getting around for at least 1 point. It's given 2 there, so that's 2 points for Devon. And next up is going to be Whippity Split for Devon and Quadza for Belfast. Just confirm, Devon are in the green, Belfast in the black.
Some very fluid moving walls from both teams here.
It is a second lead on the trot for Devon, and Whippity Split is out. Quadza removes the star and is recycled back behind. The pack tries to skip down the inside, but knocked off by Kirst T.
Unfortunately, Quadza is not going to be able to pass to their pivot, as their pivot has gone to sit in the box.
Rebel going for a forearms penalty. Whippity Split is through for a second scoring pass and 4 more points for Devon. Space on that inside line opens up.
Quadza is out. There we go.
And Whippity Split round, third scoring pass, gets all 4 points and calls that.
Lock in Belfast pivot in the box. So I do believe this is the first jam we're going to have where there is not an even number of blockers on track.
Indeed, yes.
Devon taking the blocker advantage here. Let's see what
Rebel
Devon can
is
do with
standing,
this.
so does not have huge left in the box.
Casey Crusham up against Bollocks.
In fact, is released almost immediately, so the pivot is back on track.
And Devon has picked up lead. Casey Crusham now out.
Belfast picking up another forearms penalty. Sarah McMillan going to the box. But Bollocks is out and on a scoring pass for Belfast, but that is called by Devon before Bollocks can pick up any points.
4 on call.
4 and call, indeed.
Just under 5 minutes in, but you can definitely see Devon have got control of this first half so far.
Yeah, that one big jam where they picked up 12 points from Whippity Split. Other than the one where Belfast got 4 back, they've been held to 0 in the other 3 jams. And again, it is Devon out and lead.
100% lead record for Devon in this game so far.
Belfast got the Belfast got the very first one, which was 0-0. But yeah, they were both so close in that first jam that yes. Another 4 and call for Devon. Looks like we're seeing a 4-jammer rotation from both sides here. Seeing Lady Lethal up against T-Breaks again. That's the matchup we saw in Jam 2.
And hopping down that inside line.
So T-Breaks once again getting lead jammer for Devon.
Lady Lethal having a tough old time against that green Devon wall.
So we have a Devon blocker going to the box. Can't on our screens who that is yet or what they've gone for.
Possibly a directional, I think, from
It is
a
indeed.
little bit of the hand signals I could see from Big Whoop.
So yeah, Northern Lass getting a direction penalty as T-Breaks goes through on, has completed 2 scoring passes, and we do have a star pass. Becca now taking the star for Belfast as T-Breaks gets through for 4 points. Reforming in front there by
Devon
Estate.
wall just keeps coming back.
Yeah. And that jam is called without Belfast completing an initial pass. 12 more points on the board for Devon. Yeah, we will see Salcatraz up against Whippity Split. So we now have 2 jammers who have picked up 12 points in a jam. Whippity Split on their first jam, and then T-Breaks on their second jam getting 12.
Predictions for the highest jam of this game?
Oh, interesting. I mean, T-Breaks in that last one could have gone for a bit longer. They hadn't completed their initial pass, Belfast. So I was not sure if that was a call from the bench or whether they were just like, done.
Yeah, I'd like to sit down for a few moments, please.
But yeah, I mean, this is certainly, I think, the way Devon have started, you could see, there could be at least a 20-point jam, possibly more. But,
No pressure, Devon.
No, but, Belfast, there are a few teams who do start slowly and then kind of build their way into the game once they've got through the jammer rotation a couple of times, start to work out how those jammers are.
Get a feel for those walls.
Yeah. Would be Split pushing at the front as
Quads are slight recycle back as that green Devon wall just recycled in front of them.
And it is lead for Whippity Split. Quadza is out, so Whippity on a first scoring pass and looking for a whip off of their player 9-7, who's not listed on. That was 9-7, wasn't it?
Is it on the longer list?
Storm Chaser.
You see on our on the rosters, it's down as 8-9.
So 9-7
change
is
that
Storm
one.
Chaser.
Cheers, Duke. Casey Crusham battling this Belfast wall.
And now up against Kelly Payne.
Kathy Payne.
Kathy Payne. My eyesight is going. That's happens when you get old.
It's all right. I couldn't see colours, so that's fine.
Devon with a blocker in the box. Posh going for a multiplayer.
Casey Crusham attempting a little bit of an apex jump there, but not successful, so having to go back on track at the back of all of the blockers.
Kathy Payne pushing away at the front and gets through to complete their initial pass. Casey Crusham calls that one.
I think the Belfast blockers sort of started to pick up a bit more pace there, making Casey Crusham really work for those 3 points. Alcatraz and Champagne there.
Starting with an empty penalty box. Alcatraz looking at taking the outside line. Coming down the inside is Champagne, but just knocked off.
Yeah, I genuinely thought we were going to have a Belfast lead there, but unfortunately not in bounds. So Alcatraz is your lead jammer for Devon.
Jam is called.
So as we've mentioned, we're seeing a nice pattern to these jammer rotations, and that is the third time that Alcatraz and Champagne have faced off on the jam line together.
And we have a team timeout called by Belfast. As Belfast have called a team timeout, let's give you a bit of information that Belfast have supplied us. Questions were sent out to all the teams prior to the tournament. Including that is what has been Belfast's highlight for the Five Nations season. For them, it was having all their skaters write us letters about why each teammate inspires them. Getting them at our away game in Wales and a career highlight, not just a season highlight.
Oh, that's nice. That's lovely.
I love it when the highlights are the things the teams have done together, and it's not even what they've done on track. This is stuff that they've done off track that's
made them who they are. Brought them together.
Indeed.
A team that knows each other, respects each other, and can play together well off track, are surely going to do better things on track.
So what we have missed is that Alcatraz has gone to the penalty box. So it is going to be a power jam start for Lady Lethal and Belfast. Alcatraz picking up a cut track at the end of that jam. So let's see if Belfast can make the most of this power jam start, and they can. They have
There we go.
lead. Lady Lethal picks up the first lead for Belfast since Jam 1. And a chance to put some more points on the board, finding a bit of space, but then just coming down onto their knees. Back up.
Some offence there from Sarah McMillan. However, Belfast have noticed the jammer is standing and back on track, so walling up. Becca, Belfast pivot, has taken a seat in the bench for a directional penalty.
Alcatraz out, but Belfast calling that jam.
Belfast picking up their first 4 points.
Yeah, since Jam 2.
Yeah.
I think it was when they picked up their first points, which actually wasn't the jam they got lead. The jam they got lead, it was a 0-0 right at the start, because both jammers were out pretty much together. And their points came in the Jam 2, where Devon ran it for a bit longer to pick up 12. And it was Whitty Split who got those 12 points. They're now on as the jammer for Devon and retain their 100% lead jammer status. They're up against Quadza.
So we are 11 jams into this game, and we have been reliably informed that Devon now have an 80% lead average for this first half. That's quite sizable.
It is, yes. And you can see that in the scores that Devon have been putting up. And not only are they getting lead, their defence is also keeping the Belfast jammer locked in. And you know, they're getting in 2, 3, 4, well, 3 scoring passes prior to Belfast getting out, and we have a star pass. It is now Becca with the star. A bit of
driving that last Devon blocker.
As Whitty is knocked to the inside and being recycled. Oh, the shout of call it not heard in time. Whitty calling that, but not before Belfast had been able to pick up. I think I saw 3 fingers go up. It was
there
3.
We go. Yes. That beautiful little bit of side surfing just to get round. Yeah. If I've passed your hips, I'm having your point.
Yeah, so on that scoring pass, Devon picking up 2, Belfast picking up 3, but overall the jam was 10-3. .108 being knocked off track there by Casey Crusham. Is this Hot Cross Bunny's first time jamming in this game? It is Hot Cross Bunny's first time jamming, yes. And they have done well to get out. They're out second, but not. It was not before Casey Crusham was out in lead, but only just on their scoring pass. And just picking up 1 point.
So 3-1 for Belfast. Becca has taken every star pass of the game so far. That is a pivot you can rely on.
That is Salcatraz up against Shin. This is a matchup we've seen a few times, but this is the first time that Sinn Féin has picked up. Oh, in fact, it's not, because Sinn Féin picked up lead jam in the first jam against Salcatraz. But this is the first time that they're going to get through and get some points. So Salcatraz is still
Belfast
battling.
Making Salcatraz work there.
Getting round to pick up the 4 points before Salcatraz can get out, and trying to get down to pick up some more points. There's knocked to the inside. Salcatraz comes around the outside. Let's see how many each of those got. 1 for Devon, 2 for Belfast. So that was a 6-1 jam in favour of Belfast, as Sinn Féin picks up their second lead jam of the game. And our jammer rotation is back to what we were seeing at the start of this. It's Lady
normal
Lethal against
service
normal
has resumed.
service has resumed indeed. Is it going to be normal service for T-Breaks, who has become lead jammer every time they have faced up against Lady Lethal, but not to the...
Couldn't quite stay in bounds.
They were lead before being recycled and now out again.
Beautiful track awareness there from T-Breaks. Not quite fully in bounds. Went to recycle themselves and just noticed which blocker it was and could just hop on behind them.
T-Breaks, who's been in this game quite a while, started off with the junior side in Devon. Been playing for a number of years now. Very experienced jammer. Very track aware, as you said.
Very fast jam. We saw Sarah McMillan take a star pass, put the star on and do a little mini apex jump whilst turning in the air, and unfortunately not in enough time to pick up any points. Northern Lass back in the box for Devon.
Picking up a cut track penalty. So Belfast will be starting with a blocker advantage. As we will see a Whipty split up against Quadza. Once again, we have another official timeout. What this official timeout is for, but they are all gathered in the middle and having a conversation.
Nice to see Big Whoop following safety protocols there.
Yeah,
taking their helmet off, so I'm going to take a knee because I am not standing with skates without my full safety protection on.
So Devon currently doing slightly better than the kind of predicted split on this. Flat Track had them at kind of 48 points to 19, so they are slightly ahead of that. They've got slightly more than the 48, and Belfast haven't quite hit that 19 mark yet. The official timeout has come to an end, and we are ready to get back underway. So there's going to be Whipty split up against Quadza.
Whipty there being Devon's most played jammer for this game. Showing us exactly why they are the most played jammer for Devon for this game.
Another Devon blocker going to the box. So just two Devon blockers on track. Devon choosing to run this, trying to clear the box, but it does mean Quadza and Belfast have a chance to put some points on the board, which they have done, picking up 4, along with Whipty split. And both jammers with another 4 each. Snooks and Sandy Surfwax, both for direction penalties in the box for Devon, although Sandy Surfwax has just been released. And indeed look like Devon are running this, and now they have emptied the penalty box. As they have traded points for points so far. But Whipty split is through this time, and now that Devon are back to full strength.
Quadza is now feeling this green Devon wall.
Yeah, two they could cope with, 4 they are now struggling to get through, as Sandy Surfwax takes out Quadza to that inside. Whipty split now going round on a 5th scoring pass. So we were talking earlier about getting to the 20 points. Got 5 seconds left of this jam to get through, and it looks like they have. There we go. We see our first 20-point jam. But it was with only say 12 points difference. How many did Belfast pick some up on that one? Haven't seen any go up yet.
Can't see a hand in the air from a jam ref.
Oh, there we go. There were 4 at the end.
There we go.
So that was an 8-point gain for Devon, as we see our first 20-point jam. 32 points scored in that jam. And we have another lead.
Is lead for Belfast. Casey Crusham, though, hot on their heels.
Once again, Belfast getting lead, but the Devon jammer straight out, and Belfast calling that before anyone could get any points. So 0-0. And because that was such a quick jam, Chimpaine's going to come out again.
I'll have another one.
Yeah. Although we do have a team timeout
from Devon. So Devon's highlight for the Five Nations season: building friendships with other teams in our tier and having great fun regardless of the score. Again, another nice way of enjoying Derby without necessarily, as we say, scoring high, getting all those points, all that winning, just the fact that they are on track and getting to know fellow skaters.
And Devon, as I say, despite the score, they did win 4 out of their 5 games in Tier 3 South. So they did have lots of good times where they did win as well.
I mean, they may not have tooted their own horn, but yes.
There we are. Yes. I was about to say, in that last jam we saw Chimpaine up against a jammer they've not faced before, but now they are back to Alcatraz. Coming up against a solid tripod as Chimpaine gets through for a second lead jam on the trot.
2 leads in a row.
2 leads in a row, and this time the Belfast blockers able to hold Alcatraz back to allow Chimpaine to come around on a scoring pass.
Alcatraz is out though.
Chimpaine has been caught at the back. Tries to find some space down the inside as Alcatraz just comes through that Belfast wall, split up. And the space just opened up there for Alcatraz to get through and pick up the first 4 points of the jam. Chimpaine is now through.
Scoring.
Was a 4-apiece jam. We have all the 8s playing all the 3s, 88-33 here. And we have just over 8.5 minutes left as we are about to enter jam 17. No, we're not. We're going to have
a timeout.
A timeout, official timeout. Yeah, so Devon in that Tier 3, so they won 4 of the 5 games they played. It was a really tight division. SRT, who are on this track next, Devon beat SRT, but SRT beat Bridgend, and then Bridgend beat Devon. So it was a very tight division. There's Devon, who were top, and they are top in this game, currently beating Belfast 88-33.
Belfast, the blocking has really improved as this first half has gone on.
Yeah, as we talked about at the start, teams sometimes take a while to suss out what what the jammers are doing, how those jammers play, how the offence comes in from the other teams, what they're looking for. And yeah, as the game's gone on, Belfast have been able to zone in on those kind of tactics that Devon have been playing.
Slightly remould their gameplay to see what they need. During those first few moments, Becker, however, did pick up a multiplayer penalty. And Devon have called it sealing Becker in the box.
It was an 8-point jam for Devon. But, looks like they are both going to start with a blocker in the box.
There's Posh going in, but we're unsure what for at the moment.
It is a Whippety split through and lead once again.
Quads are not far behind though.
Yeah, good breakthrough from Quadza. Whippety split just getting past that first blocker, picking up 1 point, calling that jam. I mean, Devon's blocker Posh is still in the box, and we still don't know what they're there for.
Nobody's told us.
No one saw the hand signals, nothing's come up on the screen, we just know they are sat down.
So Whippety not only has jammed 3 times, they've got a lead 3 times, that's 3, so I can't even read numbers at the minute. Jammed 6 times, got lead 6 times and scored in each of their jams.
Casey Crusham, who is out and lead for Devon, looking to get Devon over the 100 barrier. And with those 4 points being signalled, that will take them into a 101. 24 minutes into the game, and Devon break the 100 mark. See the battle of the number 6s.
6 against 6.
Alcatraz up against Quadza.
Just in case you weren't sure, folks, we are a 2-track event today, and over on track 2, Rebellion versus Wiltshire have not long started off. So please don't abandon us, but you can miss 5-6 minutes of that game, so you can watch the final few jams of this half on track 1. And if you can't bear to miss any derby action for the half-time break on track 1, hop over onto track 2 to see what Rebellion Roller Derby and Wiltshire Roller Derby are giving us all on track 2 today. Oh, Lady Lethal there. Far too eager, wanting to get going.
Another official tip out. I was saying, Devon's tight league in Belfast came second in Tier 3 West. They lost one game, and the game they lost was to the winners, which were real, but it was only by 18 points. So again, another division where the scores were close, the teams were close. And obviously we'll see both those in action later on today. Wirral will be taking on Big Bucks High Rollers at 3:30 on this track. And SRT, as I said, who were second in Tier 3 South, they are on after this game playing the Valkyries, who are winners of Tier 3 North.
T-Breaks is your lead jammer for Devon, and speaking of Devon, we have Jamagotchi, who is cheering for Devon at home. So good morning to you, Jamagotchi. I hope you are enjoying the action on track 1 today.
Kimmy Crusher has gone to the box for Devon, so Belfast will start with a blocker advantage. Sinn Féin with the star for Belfast, 50 split with the star for Devon.
Some very strong jam in there from Sinn Féin.
Sinn Féin, I think so that takes away Whifty Split's 100% lead jammer record.
As the pack skates away.
So Sinn Féin has definitely been the standout jammer for Belfast, and she was actually the highest ranked jammer in Tier 3 West this year. So it's not a surprise to see how well they are doing out there and how often they are able to get the leads for Belfast. And then, in fact, Sinn Féin has been leading 80% of their jams. This time it is Bollocks for Belfast up against Casey Crushams. And it is another lead jam for Belfast as Bollocks is out and lead. Sarah McMillan going to the penalty box for Belfast for a multiplayer.
But we have a power jam, the first power jam of the game. Obviously we've had a power jam start, but Casey Crushams has gone into the box for a forearms penalty. So let's see what Bollocks gives us.
So Bollocks his lead, and now on a second scoring pass on this power jam, and deciding to call that and freeze Casey Crushams into the penalty box, giving Belfast a power jam start in the next jam.
Casey, however, is standing. So less than 10 seconds before both blockers, jammers even, are on track. But we have an official review.
We do have an official review. Just want to see who's called that. Can't quite see on the board which dot is flashing. The board is at the other end of the hall to where we are, and it's not very clear. Actually, I think it's Devon who have called this official review. As soon as we know what it is, we will pass it on to you. Our trackside announcers will be going in and having a listen, and once we know the outcome, it will be relayed to us through the Discord channel that we're on, and there is also a Discord channel for all you viewers at home. Don't ask me how to get there. I'm struggling with Discord, even for all our chats for
without
these organising.
the need for Discord, I've just seen our in-house announcer Liam Neeson show the signs for a cut track. Where are we? So yes, I was right. Well, in fact, that I could see Liam Neeson's hand signals. Devon are calling for a cut on the Belfast jammer. So we shall see what our officials say.
Yeah,
So if you are watching this for the first time, or you're still a little bit confused, each team has an official review that they can use if they feel that a call has been made incorrectly, or if a call for a penalty has been missed. So your alternate, mainly your bench, will go in, state their case. The clearer you are, the easier it is for the referees to decipher whether they had indeed missed it or made a missed call.
Yeah, I think what you see is the referees will only call things they're 100% certain of. So if they haven't seen something they're 100% certain of, they won't call it back. But one of the other referees may have seen something that they weren't 100% certain of, and together that gives them, right, okay, yes, I saw this happen, but I didn't see that happen. And I thought, but I saw that happen, but not the other thing, and therefore together we can agree that the penalty that they want assessed can be assessed. Or they get together and they go, nope, we were right.
No.
And we will know, because if a Belfast jammer goes to the box, then they will have won their official review. And if we start with a Belfast jammer on a power jam start, then Devon will have lost it. So yeah, you get one review per half, and if you win your official review, you retain it to use it once more in that half. And if you lose it, that's it. It's gone for the rest of that half.
And as you can see, there's two things that are telling us that Devon have lost their official review. A, there is a Belfast jammer on track. And B, as Liam Neeson exited the track, he gave us a little thumbs down signal to say they've not been successful.
But Casey Crushams is straight out the box, but Quadza is straight through the pack, and his lead jammer for Belfast is through very quick, but Casey Crushams, a quick skater, getting round and overtaking Quadza, forcing Quadza to call that as a 0-0 jam.
Is that our first 0-0 jam since jam 1?
No, we had
one
other
in the middle.
Yeah, we've had one in the middle. So this is now our third 0-0 jam. So we are entering the last minute of this first half, and it is Shin Payne, once again lead jammer for Belfast, has been on absolute fire for Belfast in this first half. T-Breaks is also out, both on scoring passes. Obviously Devon been able to make the most of when they've got lead.
Oh, beautiful little bit of a transition and backwards out the pack there from Shin Payne, but unfortunately...
I can see a cut track signal, but I can't see who's picked that up.
It's Shin Payne.
Oh, and T-Breaks is also going for a cut
there we
track.
go.
So we are going to have a jam switch through, and this jam is going to go for the full 2 minutes. This is the first jam we'll have that has gone a full 2 minutes, and is the last one of the first half.
Well, no, we did have a full 2 minute one when Devon were trying to clear their box.
Ah.
But this is our first. It's going for the full 2 minutes because you've lost lead.
Yeah.
There we go.
Because no one can stop this.
Only those that have got a whistle.
So both jammers out of the box and on scoring passes. I thought I saw Shin Payne there trying to tap their hips and call it,
and then realise.
God.
The look of disappointment of a jammer that was lead, desperately wants to call it, but they lost lead. Okay, T-Breaks there taking the star off. But we've not needed to pass, we are out.
Yes, taking the star off, so picking up no points on that pass because they did not have the star on their helmet. So that ends that jam and that half with a 4 apiece jam.
So we go into our half-time break with Devon on 108 and Belfast on 41. If you don't want to watch an empty track with some people just skating around a little bit for the next 14 minutes, hop over onto track 2, see how Rebellion and the Wirral are getting on. And myself and Tom, we will see you in just under 13 and a half minutes.
We will indeed.
Right. We'll see you soon, folks. Right, folks, we are back on to track 1. However, I am going to make a public service announcement, which is an apology. At the end of that first half, I did say hop over onto track 2 and look at the action. If you did that, you would have just been watching someone trying to manically fix a scoreboard. But Rebellion and Wirral are now underway. Currently, we see Rebellion on 22 and Wiltshire are on 28, unless that's going to change because the whistle's just gone. Yes, it is. It's now 26 to 28 in Wiltshire's favour.
And so we are back on track one. It is Devon 108 against Belfast with 41. Belfast getting back into this game started quite slowly. Devon getting off to a really quick start, picking up some big jams. Belfast getting back into it. In fact, the last 4 jams of that first half, they got lead. But they need to kind of just get their defence up a bit, because whilst they're getting lead, Wiltshire are also getting out fairly quickly after them.
Yeah, the lead to points scored ratio isn't quite going in Belfast's favour. But let's see what's happened over half-time. Well, Belfast going to continue that momentum and turn it up yet another gear. We shall see.
Both teams sending out their kind of main jammers from the first half. Of Sinn Pain for Belfast, Whippity Split for Devon. Whippity Split trying to find some space down the inside. With all Belfast Buckles on the floor, and does so is lead jammer, but Sinn Pain is not far behind. And they both just around there.
Did Sinn Pain manage to get that jump landed in time to pick up that blocker's 1 point?
No, not look like it. No, both jam rests with a fist in the air,
saying nope.
So we start the second half exactly the same way we started the first half, with a 0-0 jam.
Belfast are a blocker down as Sarah McMillan is in the penalty box. Casey Crusham is out. Lady Lethal there removing the star.
But unable to pass it because Sarah McMillan is the pivot who is in the box. But they are standing and now coming back onto track. You'll see them coming into shot fairly soon. There they are. As Casey Crossan's pushing away at the front, the tripod of Belfast, just trying to move around. As Casey Crosham through to pick up 4 points. But with that star stash, Lady Lethal is out and completing the initial pass for Belfast. Calling that before any points could be scored by Belfast, picking up 1 more for Devon. So 1-1-3 playing 41.
Both sixes are back on track.
It is Salcatraz up against Squadza. Starting with an empty penalty box. Both jammers trying to go down the outside line.
Salcatraz driving that Belfast wall to get out and pick up lead.
So they're just stretching an arm out, trying to find the pivot. Good work from Kirsty, trying to keep the pivot away from the jammer, but the jammer is now down that inside line and through, completing their initial pass with that hidden star. That's 4 points for Devon. 7 points for Devon.
7 points for Devon. Just managed to pass through the hips of another player. We have another shout out for our wonderful supporters watching from home. This time, someone who is cheering on Belfast. Nice shout out to Shelley. Shelley
will be cheering on Sinn Pain, who's trying to get through this strong Devon pack. T-Breaks has already broken through the Belfast pack and is lead jammer for Devon, and has just completed a first scoring pass, picking up 4 points. Champagne finding some space on the outside, but only by doing so illegally, picking up a back block. So it is a power jam for T-Breaks and for Devon.
The first power jam for Devon. Because the two in the other half were in Belfast's favour.
Yeah, and the one where we had a switcheroo, it was so quick that they didn't really have time to have much of a power jam. That's going to call that one free Champagne in the penalty box. Having picked up 8 points, it will be a power jam start for Devon in jam 4, which will see Whippity Split given the chance to make the most of that power jam start.
So we had a 20-point jam for Devon in the first half. Are we going to see that equalled or even bested in this power jam start?
So lovely offense there, just clearing that inside line, allowing Whippity Split down and lead jammer within 3-4 seconds, if that. Champagne is now standing and in fact has been released from the penalty box, so you see the Devon blockers starting to wall up, but Champagne just going straight for that link, barging through, and now has a power jam. So this will be another full 2-minute jam, having not had one till the very last jam of this first half. We've now had another one at the start of this second half. This will be a chance for Champagne to get some points on the board. But first they are going to have to complete their initial pass. Even with the power jam, the
high block there, I think.
Yeah, there was a high block. And after Champagne had completed their initial pass, so that was a scoring pass, picking up 4 points. Whippity Split now out of the box and coming down the inside line. Some good defensive work out the front there by the Belfast pivot. Here is Rebel.
Champagne making light work of that green Devon wall.
The split is recycled, so this is a good jam for Belfast. As Champagne comes round on their 4th scoring pass. This will be so that was 8 points to Devon, 12 points to Belfast, so that equals Belfast's highest scoring jam. But this time they got it with Devon only picking up 8 points. The last time they got 12, Devon picked up 20. And that takes Belfast through the 50 barrier. They are now on 53 points.
So even though started in the penalty box, comes back out, lead is lost, but to then actually gain more points in that jam. Well done Belfast for that one. Got an official timeout here.
It shows that, you know, if you're going to freeze a jammer in the box, you probably don't want it to be Champagne. Considering they did a few in the first half where they just did back-to-back jams anyway.
Yeah, it's
like you're not going to be knackering out Champagne. They're just going to come back on. They're going to get out.
If anything, you're allowing them to recharge.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm released, I'm having it. And that is exactly what Champagne did. That last jam was Champagne's 12th jam of the game today. I reckon they would just do all of them if they could.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have the star, it's okay. we have an official timeout. Oh no, we've got a no.
We now have an official review.
An official review called by Devon.
Yeah, so they called one late in the first half and now one early in the second half. Oh, see a different announcer running in this time to pick up. There's Jugger who's gone in to find out what is going on this official review.
We'll just take a moment to appreciate that immense beard just blowing in the breeze that he was creating as he ran in. Looks so majestic.
So Belfast running a 4 jammer rotation, and Sinn Féin clearly been the standout jammer. She's picked up 1/3 of their points. 18 of those 53 points have come from Sinn Féin's jamming.
Well earned too.
Yes, well earned, yeah.
Definitely can see why Sinn Féin was ranked the highest jammer in Tier 3. Tier 3 West, I should say.
Not sure what the official review was for, but no one has gone into the box. There was no one in the box to be released, so whatever Devon wanted, they didn't get. Now we're starting with KC Crushen up against Lady Lethal. Lady Lethal trying to find some space down that inside, but was just knocked off as they're about to get through. And it is KC Crushen who is out and lead for Devon.
Meantime, Lady Lethal being almost driven off track there. Fortunately, I think that was Kimmy Crusher. No, yep. Oh no, it's Escape that's gone into the box for that.
And Kimmy Crusher
as
well.
There we
go. Yeah, they were driven off by Kimmy Crusher illegally, who's gone to the box, but also going to the box is Sarah McMillan with the pivot. So both pivots sat in the box. KC Crushen lead for Devon. Lady Lethal trying to get through and does so.
Belfast with a pack advantage here.
Yeah, we saw in the first half Devon choosing to run the jams when they've got only a couple of blockers in the box. And as I say that, of course, they called it off.
They changed their mind.
No. In fact, they did exactly.
There we go.
They called it off because the box was empty, or at least for them.
For them, yeah.
Yep,
their side of the box is empty. Sarah Milliland is standing in their side.
Sarah Millen stood hands on hips, just like, yeah, I'm ready.
Yep.
There's going to be Salcatraz up against Quadza, so again the battle of the sixes. Sarah McMillan released from the box. There is Salcatraz who is out and lead for Devon.
So just a little update on what that official review was for. Devon thought that Sinn Féin should have sat for 2 penalties. However, the referees turned around and said, no, they didn't need to. So Devon have lost their official review for this second half.
So that was a 3-point jam for Devon there. And it will be Sinn Féin back with the star for Belfast. Up against
Tea breaks?
Tea breaks, by the looks of it, yes.
Don't be confused by the whistles there, folks. 2 tracks, very close proximity. You are going to hear both sets.
They do have slightly different pitches. They seem to be the slightly higher one on track 1. There's Tea Breaks, who is lead for Devon. as Posh goes to the penalty box for a cut track. Sinn Féin clears the Devon pack, using their initial pass, but T breaks through, having picked up 4 points, calls that.
So Devon's lineup are sticking to a very rigid schedule of jammers. They are using that 4 rotation, and everybody is getting equal chances to jam.
There's Whippity Split up against Lady Lethal. And it is Whippity Split who's out and lead. Lady Lethal being recycled. Oh no, it's heading to the penalty box. So this is a power jam for Whippity Split. Some offense there, just clearing down the inside. Lovely work there from Zero Smooks. But then some good reforming from the Belfast blockers at the front, just to slow down Whippity Split for a bit.
Rebel there being the last blocker standing, trying to hold Whippity off for as long as possible.
Whippity Split again calling that one, freezing the Belfast jammer in the penalty box. But Lady Lethal is stood. That was just 5 points for Devon, and they take their lead to over 100 points, 158 playing 57. That's now a gap of 101. And
we've got Devon calling an official review.
Imagine we've got Belfast, because Devon called the first one and lost it, so it must be Belfast calling this one. So this, Devon now extending their lead to 101. And Haiti, we were talking about during half-time how there's going to be more games this weekend, and Devon are, they've got a lead now. They don't have to go on. They don't have to win this by lots and lots and lots of points. They just have to win, and that's kind of where they are at the moment. I think is just playing sensibly for the second half, because they're going to. If
they're going to need those legs.
Yeah, because they're going to have first game again tomorrow morning, so it's going to be another early start. A 9 o'clock starts for the winners of this game. Will be on track 1 again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. They're going to play the winners of the game that's straight after this on track 1, which is SRT against Manchester Valkyries.
So Devon's lineup and bench there, just showing how if you stick to those rotations, you don't have to run every jam. Let's play this long game. We're here all weekend, folks. Calm, controlled derby.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there have been points where Belfast have gone, do you know what, we're going to test you a little bit.
I'm saying with Sinn Féin as well, you can't just kind of just take your foot off the brake completely. You still have to be aware that
they're on track and they are wearing a star. So our wonderful producers have just had it as a note to inform us about that official review. But Vighton rather quickly, their penmanship skills kind of lost it towards the end, and we had no idea. So Belfast official review, they want to rescind the penalty against their jammer to release them from the box, as they feel they were not fully back in bounds when hit out. Let's find out.
So thanks to Dr. Bolt and Dr. Duke for whose handwriting was absolutely horrendous.
It started off so well. I'm going to read what
what do you think it says?
I have been teaching primary school children for nearly 20 years now, and I usually can decipher all kinds of hieroglyphics. So I can see OR Cascended, because that's not a capital R, sweetheart. Penalty on hair, as in heir to the throne. Jammer and cellulose. Eon. If anybody else can, decipher that Belfast wanted their penalty on their jammer, rescinded, rescinded for not being back in bounds. That's exactly what it said. And we've now just going to sit here with the giggles. Let's just find out if it's going to be Cascended or is it cellulose. Let's find out. Bear with us, folks. We're only on game 1 and mania is already set in on track 1 on the stream. Unfortunately, we are here all weekend. Heaven knows what it's going to be like by Sunday. Yeah.
The officials are still discussing this. I think they might just be feeding back now. I can see the Belfast coach James knelt down with a big whoop. And so we'll know if it's won or lost, because if Belfast have won this, then Lady Lethal will be released from the box, and if they've
we
lost
have been reliably informed.
They've lost. With
improved penmanship. Well done. Ref says no. So it's not happening. You stay in.
So it will be a power jam start for Devon, with Casey Crushams with a star. Lady Lethal will serve the rest of the penalty that they picked up in that previous jam, but they are standing. Casey Crushams has got lead, but the blockers reform around them, as Lady Lethal is now out of the box and engaged at the back of the pack. Casey Crusham out at the front and picking up, had already picked up, is now through.
Becca Belfast pivot there, trying to provide some offence to get Lady Lethal through.
Casey Crusham calling that, having picked up 2 points.
160 play in 57.
16.5 minutes left of the game. About to enter jam 10. And we will see Salcatraz up against Champagne. There from the champions. Is that Iris?
Is it? Do we go? Can I skate now? Champagne is lead. And is this second time this half? There we go. As we were saying before, Devon are definitely running their strong rotation, not needing to win by a massive margin, gain lots of points. But we did mention you can't take your foot off the brake when Champagne's on track, and Champagne is proving your point there, Tom.
I think that's the first star pass we've seen from Devon. It's Sandy Surfwax who's taken the star for Devon.
Unfortunately, they take the star and then go and have a sit down for a forearms penalty.
Yeah, so
out of all of your Belfast jammers, Champagne's not the one you want to give a power jam to.
Yeah.
Already on a 12-point jam. Is that seen as going to the 16? It does indeed.
Yeah, and Belfast has a chance there to get to a 20-point jam, but I think kind of going with the, let's freeze the jammer in the box. But of course, the jammer was the pivot in the previous one, so you're freezing a pivot as a jammer, and they'll feel they've got a better chance of, again, getting lead in this jam and putting more points on the board rather than getting the Devon jammer out of the box. There's Quadza, who's going to have the star for Belfast and given this power jam start.
So that last jam there sees the very first time that Belfast have jammed, scored points and denied Devon any points.
Okay, yeah, because we had a few 0-0s, but it's the first time Belfast have held them to 0 and scored points.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that's got to be Belfast's highest scoring jam as well, 16. And Quadza has made the most of this power jam start, his lead.
Devon's jammer is still seated in that box. Quadza there trying to weave their way through that green blocking wall of Devon.
Yeah, and Devon have sent out T-brakes as the pivot. So talking about, like, you freeze the jammer in the box because they were the pivot, and then you can get like a jam where you're up against. They called that as soon as they were released from the box. Yeah. They didn't even get back on track to try and complete the initial. So I think
we've seen who your pivot is, we'll call it.
Yes, yeah.
We know where this is going. We'll take that 4 and call.
It will be Lady Lethal up against Whippity Split. Just a cautious start there, leaning on their own blocker, just waiting, and then finding a space down the outside line and just putting on a bit of speed, skipping down the outside.
It works for Whippity.
Come on. Good work there from Smooks.
There we go. Devon's more going, why are we not skating? And then another bloke, because we called it. Okay.
Casey Crusham up against Shin Payne. Will be after this official timeout. Timeout has come to an end. It was only a quick one, and we will see some Casey Crusham up against Shin Payne. And it is Shin Payne who is lead. Some good work there from Sarah McMillan, but doing so illegally with the forearms. Taking Casey Crusham out, so there's a forearms for Sarah McMillan. Shin Payne is through, picking up 4 points. Casey Crusham completes their initial pass. Looks like you're going to try and run this, and Casey Crusham just skating right behind Shin Payne, going, wherever you're going, I'm just going to follow you.
And if you're going to go past any hips as you call, I'm going to go past them too. Devon pick anything up for that one? No.
No, neither jammer's picking anything up. I think Shin Payne could feel how close the Devon jammer was and just went, I'm not going to get anything. I don't want to give up any points.
Each team have got a blocker apiece in the box. Slight official timeout.
So it's Kimmy Crusher for Devon in the box, Sarah McMillan for Belfast in the box. And it's going to be Salcatraz up against Quadza. back underway, which we do so now.
Alcatraz is your lead.
Yeah, Sandy Surfwax just taking Quadza off to the outside there. Quadza now looking to pass that star to their pivot.
Kirsty holding Belfast's pivot away.
It's not the first time we've said that. Kirsty's, I think, kind of been given that role of if the star comes off, you're keeping the pivot away.
Rebel is now your jammer for Belfast, but Devon said no. Storm Chaser, they're picking up a forearms penalty, it looks like, right towards the end of that jam.
So Belfast starting with a blocker advantage. For Lady Lethal, who's going to jam. We have another official timeout called as they gather in the middle.
Oh, do we just need to check that we got enough points added for that last jam? Both jammers there choosing the hands on hip stance.
Yep.
Oh, so wait, I don't know what to do with my arms, I'm going to put them in.
So another fact about Belfast, their founder continues to play with them 15 years after start of the entire league. And I believe that is Rebel, who used to play for LRR. But yeah, started the league in Belfast 15 years ago and still playing. We saw them with a pivot hat and in fact becoming jammer in that last jam. So that was Rebel, who founded Belfast, is still playing 15 years later. I'm guessing they started very, very young.
I gotta say, just from this view here, if I took away 15 years, I'd say, are you allowed to play? I mean, whatever skincare regime they've got, it's working. It is working, Rebel. I mean, I'm only saying that because I'm old and my knees just say no.
My knees say no and I don't listen to them.
Muffle their sounds with knee pads. Shh, we're doing it anyway.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
I mean, if you hear them, at least you know you're upright and moving.
Okay, so that timeout has come to an end. We are going to get back underway. Tea breaks against Lady Lethal. And I think that the timeout was to put another Devon blocker into the box. So Kimmy Crusher went for a direction to join Storm Chaser, who was already there for a forearms. I thought Tea breaks was lead, but no, they've actually gone to the box as well. So I'm not sure if they... that's a big...
Lady Lethal has got a power jam and only two blockers.
One blocker. Because Escape has gone as well. So there's one stood, two sat. And just a nice little bit of offence from Sarah McMillan clearing the line. So I think, looking at it, Tea breaks got lead was then called because Lady Lethal doesn't seem to be signalled as lead, so we are going to have a full 2-minute jam.
So we're almost everyone back on track. Devon's blockers slowing that pack down at the front. Tea breaks is out. First points on the board for this jam. And at that point, we'd already had over a minute of gameplay for this jam underway before those first 4 points appeared.
Lady Lethal and Belfast not able to make the most of that. Not only a power jam, but for 10-15 seconds of only having one blocker on track as well. They managed to get through and complete their initial, so they're now on scoring. But T-Break's back on track and just skipping round the outside to pick up another 4.
In the meantime, Becca, the pivot, has desperately got hold of that star and is trying to get through to then become Belfast jammer.
That comes to a natural conclusion. Devon picking up 12 points. Not sure how many Belfast got. I think it was none. I know 3 have just got up, so Belfast got 3 before they removed the star.
Devon calling a team timeout there.
Going back to their bench. Storm Chaser is in the box for Devon, serving a multiplayer penalty.
Well, we mentioned Kirsty a few jams ago with that wonderful offence and holding back Belfast pivot, so they just couldn't get that star pass. And Devon have actually said that Kirsty is their quiet achiever, because sometimes they fly under the radar, but they are a stealth blocker and keeps our pack together in play and on our best behaviour.
Wow. And yeah, not such a quiet achiever now. I think we've just been shouting them out on the stream. Wow,
and then
look
with
at Kirsty.
that
They're great.
beautiful offence there, keeping that pivot at bay.
No longer hide under the radar. Kirsty, you have now been outed as an awesome blocker for Devon. So Sinn Pain up against Whippity Split. So Belfast starting with a blocker advantage. Forming that tripod, but Whippity Split finding space to get round that tripod on the outside, but not before Sinn Pain has picked up lead jammer.
I'm just going to say this, looking towards our producers. Has Sinn Pain, when it's Sinn Pain this half up against Whippity, has Sinn Pain got the majority of the leads with that pairing? Fantastic. Well done, Shin.
You can see just changing up those jammer pairings whilst you still run a 4 rotation. You can go, actually, this jammer doesn't work so well when they're playing against this jammer, but they work really well against and that first half Whippity Split was pretty much 100% lead jammer every time for Devon. Now they've swapped it up and they've put Sinn Pain, just something different.
Yeah, there. Just not going in their favour anymore.
And Shin's able to get out. Having got lead, it looks like it was a fairly even jam, 8 apiece. As we head into the final 6 minutes of this game, we are going to see hot blocking beats with a star for Devon. That's the first time we've seen them with a star this game. And they're going to come up against Quadza. As we were saying earlier, Devon they're able to kind of take their foot off the gas, give some other people a chance, rest there. Yeah, they've got 4 jammers, but give them some rest. There's 5.5 minutes left. They've got a 95-point lead. Let's
give somebody else the star. Yeah. Let them work on some bits. If you've got some up-and-coming jammers, giving them some track time. Because sometimes you never know, as we were just saying, when they've got that 4 rotation and they're keeping it, steady all the way through, but the opposition are just throwing that curveball in now and again and it's not working. Why not adjust? Because you never know. Those jammers that weren't on your main rotation may have that secret little weapon that actually can get out before Sinn Pain, can add that little extra spice to the game.
Yeah, it was the first time they're out, but they did get lead, and they got they called that jam 3 points to 1. And about 10-15 minutes ago, we talked about how Devon had taken the lead to over 100 points. Belfast have come back into it. The lead is now it's 97, but the last 10 minutes it's been fairly even in the points kind of scoring.
Yeah, Belfast have really sort of evolved, established themselves even more in this second half. It's just a shame they don't get like a third half. Just a little. I've warmed up now. Can we just keep going?
35 seconds into this jam, and we have just had lead jammer SS2 Salcatraz as Lady Lethal, I think, has passed the star. Indeed, it is now Rebel with the star.
So in the last 10 jams, just adding on to what you were just saying there, Tom, Belfast have kept the lead under 100 points for the last 10 jams. So even though they're not scoring as highly, they might not be racking the points up as much, but they are keeping that lead just under it each time, just edging away at it.
The winners of this game, is looking like Devon is going to play tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. They're going to play the winners of SRT against Manchester Valkyries, which is the game you can watch here on Track 1 starting at 11. SRT, who came second in Tier 3 South, Valkyries, who were first in Tier 3 North. Over on Track 2, it is Rebellion up against Wiltshire, and the last jam, Rebellion picked up a 12-point jam. They are now currently 96 to 79, so that's is a close game over on Track 2. I believe it's half time there, actually. So we've got 3 minutes left of this game, and then you can go over and watch the second half, or the start of the second half of Rebellion against Wiltshire. And Sinn Féin once again picking up lead jammer for Belfast, but T-Breaks is right behind them and looking to come down the inside. Bit of jammer on jammer action, but Sinn Féin just having T-Breaks bounce off them. T-Breaks not picking up any points for Devon, and just a bit of discussion as to whether Sinn Féin picked up any for Belfast. The jammers there say 2 points. That is 95. With just over 2.5 minutes left, Belfast will be. They will want to break this 100 mark. That'll be like,
that's the goal we're aiming for.
Yeah, they'll want to break that 100, and they'll go, we don't want Devon to get past 200. We want to keep them
down and get ours up a little bit. I mean, as we've seen, these sort of last 10, 11 jams.
But Whippity Split is out and lead for Devon, so a chance for Devon to kind of get those 8 points they need to break the 200 markers.
Come on, Belfast.
Quadza has been recycled. Trying to get through as Whippity Split comes down, kind of barge through those 2 blockers from Belfast, gets past the last one, picks up the 4 points. Quadza has now completed their initial pass. Coming around on a second scoring pass. Getting through the tripod at the back. Quads are not able to pick up any points, but Devon picking up 2. 198 plays 95. Devon take their lead back over that 100 points. 103 is the lead as we go into the last minute of this game. Hot blocking beats with the star for the second time up against Lady Lethal.
Lady Lethal opting for the outside, going to the inside. Hot blocking beats is your lead jammer.
And a big cheer from the Devon bench as they do so. Lady Lethal is now through. So hot blocking beats the chance to get the points that will take Devon over the 200 mark.
Belfast wall there doing a nice reforming each time.
And Belfast calling a time out so they can stop this clock and we can have one final jam.
3 points apiece there in that jam. Sees Devon crossing over that 2-century mark.
So Belfast calling that team timeout, allowing one more jam and giving them the opportunity to try and break through the century. And Belfast will start with a blocker advantage as Axeltoes is in the penalty box for a direction penalty.
And if you've got one last jam,
well,
you want to break that century,
who are you going to send
Who are you going to put the star on? I wonder. Answers on a postcard, please. So we've got Alcatraz up against Sinn Féin. Sinn Féin, no doubtedly, I think this will come to you folks at home, is Belfast's highest rotation jammer. This is their 18th jam.
Yeah, we've had 22 in this and we had what, about 25 in the first half. So yeah,
that's a good chunk of gameplay.
good chunk of gameplay there for Sinn Féin.
And look at the way they're just standing, as if they could just keep going on and on forever.
Well, they are going to go on. They are going to go on to the semi-finals tomorrow morning. In fact, I think as well as Skate there, who you can see, will also be going on to skate later on this afternoon with Kings of Block and Roll in the MRDA game on track 2 as they come up against Haunted City in the playoff to see who plays Tier 2 in the MRDA side in 2026. The team timeout has come to an end and this game and this last jam is underway. Sinn Féin trying to get down the outside, trying to get lead, and they do. They are lead jammer for Belfast.
Some frantic jamming from Alcatraz though, just not wanting Shin to pick up lead. Making light work of that wall.
Just going straight in and like a bowling ball just sending the Devon blockers flying. They've broken that 100 mark. Now, so this is the last jam. Looks like they are just going to run it, put as many points on the board as they can. And now that looks like there's a few Devon blockers heading to the box.
A few, almost all of them. Yeah. Oh no, we've got two.
Right,
We've definitely got one.
We had two. We had a third one that went but couldn't sit because both of the other blockers were sat. Now one stood, one's gone in. So we've had a switch. We're now back to two blockers on track for Devon.
Curse T and Storm Chaser, they're walling up at the front.
Got some good offense there. Just trying to split them up. 108 Hot Cross Bunny.
Alcatraz back on track.
We have just our second 20-point jam. The first one came in the first half for Devon. This time Belfast in the very last jam of the game. 20. In fact, this is now going to be 24 points. This is our highest scoring jam. It goes to Belfast, and unsurprisingly, it goes to Sinn Féin. As the last couple of seconds, and that whistle goes just before they're able to get round. But a great way for Belfast to end that game.
Most definitely, yeah.
A 24-point to 13 jam. That takes them to 122. Devon are your winners on 214 unofficially. We'll wait for that to come through. So Devon will go forward to the semi-finals tomorrow. Belfast, I think, get a weekend in Stoke.
I mean, it's a great place. There's lots of bridges. Lots of them.
Oh, and we're back to our faces. Look at that. There we go.
If you were wondering who on earth was talking all the way through that. So, yep, final score is in. Belfast coming back just at the end there. Just that little bit of a...
Yeah, so that last, 20 minutes, they held Devon. If it started like that, then, yeah, completely different game. But Devon just went in hard, fast for those first few jams. A couple of 12-pointers, a 16-pointer, then a 20-pointer. Yeah. And they were able to make the most of their leads, whereas when Belfast got the leads, Devon were out so quickly afterwards
just
that
couldn't quite build anything more
Belfast
onto
just got the ones, the twos, the fours. So it wasn't until like midway through the second half that Belfast had their first jam where they held Devon to nothing.
And then there was that little turning point, but just ran out of time towards the end. So yes, so thank you very much, folks, for joining us for this first game on track one. Devon Roller Derby, your winners of that game. I have been Haiti Perry.
I have been Tom Bowler. I believe there are interviews. I'm not sure if they're going to go straight there or whether this will just cut back in. But there should be an interview conducted by one of the in-house announcers with a member of the winning team. So stay tuned. You'll be able to catch up with an interview with one of the players, get their thoughts on the game and the tournament. And stay tuned for game 2 on this track, which will see SRT 7 Roller Torrent versus Manchester Valkyries.
Stay tuned, folks, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.